Previously on Fear the Walking Dead.
After a very frustrating season 7, I can definitely say that this was a step in the right direction, and this was a really good first episode. Man, why would Morgan take Mo back to Padre? Man, I can't see any reason why he would do that. Safe travels, kid!
Happy trails to you! Happy trails, motherfucker!
Man, so after all the things that June did, what could Padre possibly do with her?
You get your pointy finger up and I'll tells you.
Ever again.
Well, June's gotta be happy there's no more pedicures in the apocalypse.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host for Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead, the final season. This is for episode 2, titled Blue Jay.
Padre's lied to all of us. We can find out what else he's lied about.
We'll let the commander decide.
Who's the commander?
No more hiding behind the mirror. Time to tell the truth.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Fear the Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're back with our weekly review for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, the final season. This is for Season 8, Episode 2, titled Blue Jay. So, this is our weekly review for Fear the Walking Dead. Of course, this will contain spoilers if you have not seen this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead. But let's get right into this. So, the second episode of Fear the Walking Dead, the final season. What do we think? What do we think? Well, I liked it. I really liked it. That's 2 for 2. You know what I mean? That's 2 for 2. That's good. We got 10 left. Hopefully there'll be 10 good ones, but at least with the first 2, yeah, we're on to a really, really good start for Fear Season 8. Absolutely. So, this episode primarily focuses on June, mostly focuses on June, but we do have the appearance as well of Dwight and Sherry in this episode. Now, basically, this follows June 7 years after the Padre, of course, took our characters, and we kind of get to see that June is kind of living out there on her own, you know? She's living out in her own little location out in the woods, you know, living out in the wild, that sort of thing. She looks friggin' crazy. I mean, you know what I mean? She looks like she's been living out there for a while, like Daryl style, right? And anyway, basically, she kind of every so often encounters Padre members that are kind of going downstream. And she basically shoots them with this, like, dart gun or whatever and makes them pass out for a bit. And she's, like, taking their fingers and shit like that just to kind of get back at them, if you will, for making her life a living hell. And, yeah, she does that all the time. She takes, you know, fingers from Padre members, and Padre members are starting to kind of pick up on this, and this is just what June's been doing, I guess, for the past 7 years. Just kind of been living out there, taking finger here and there and all that kind of stuff, putting them in, like, jars and stuff like that. Really some sick shit. And, yeah, June is, she's changed, all right? I'll say that much. But anyway, we get to see the intro. Obviously, we got June on the title this week. And then we're back. We run into a new character who is kind of trying to build up an army to fight Padre, and he kind of wants June to potentially join him or something like that, but she doesn't want to because she just doesn't feel the need to, I guess. So she's like, no, get away from me, don't come back here again. And he threatens her and says, well, I'll be back here tomorrow, that type of thing. Now, we also find out from this man that apparently his daughter was taken by Padre at the age of 7, and she's probably now around the age of like 12 or so. So he's been trying to find her, he's been trying to come after her, and this is why he's forming an army to take down Padre, which makes a whole lot of sense, right? So anyway, we then get to see June. She's, you know, shooting these Padre members on the boat, and we figure out, unfortunately, that the ones that she shot this time were actually Dwight and Sherry. And it's pretty crazy when we get that reveal that Dwight and Sherry were actually just, you know, out there on the boat, and June shot at them, and when they wake up, June's like, I'm so sorry, what the hell? And we find out that Dwight and Sherry were just kind of out there on a, like a supply run or whatever, right, for Padre. Now, we also get introduced to, Dwight and Sherry's kid, who, just like Mo last week, this kid is not aware that Dwight and Sherry are his parents. He very much thinks that these are just 2 Padre members, and, you know, that's all there is, basically, right? But Sherry basically says to June that this is the longest we've ever spent with the kid. Padre is letting me and Dwight, you know, kind of do all this stuff. But it's been a few years since, Sherry and Dwight have even seen each other, and they don't get to see their kid all the time. But apparently they've been working their way up in Padre, and they've been proving themselves, so they're able to do this one mission. And just so happens that June ran into them, which is pretty cool. Now, after the reunion is all set and done, we then get to the major plot of the story in this one, which is that Dwight and Sherry's kid has appendix or whatever, so he's not really able to function all that well. So they go to June, and basically they ask her, can you help him out? And she doesn't really agree to it at first, but she decides after a little while, because Dwight kind of holds it over her head, that we'll tell Padre what you did if you don't help us. So, kind of an ultimatum there. But anyway, she, of course, gives him, drugs to put the kid to sleep, right? So he doesn't feel the surgery, doesn't feel the process. June is going to operate on him and that kind of thing. And before that happens, then we see the same guy from earlier in the episode that is, of course, forming an army to take on Padre, and the guy that was going to come, every day and check on June. He comes by, and Dwight, of course, kind of holds him at gunpoint and stuff like that. And they don't really trust him, right? Because he continues to kind of just come around every 2 seconds, holding something against June. So they hold him at gunpoint, basically. And, well, then we find out a little bit more about what Padre's been doing. Basically, Padre has this major train that June is in, and there's a section of the train where they're storing walkers. They're keeping them captive, right? Now, this goes into basically the major deal of this episode. What everybody was freaking out about in the early reviews is that people think that Padre might have a CRM connection because they're experimenting with walkers. They're trying new tricks with walkers. They're trying different things. And one of the biggest things that they implied in this episode, and that's what June was helping them do a while back, is apparently radiation. If you put radiation within a walker and the walker bites you, it doesn't kill you. Am I getting that right? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the quote-unquote cure for a walker bite is radiation. So I'm not sure what the hell is going on there. It's very weird. It's very out there. I would not have expected something like this from Padre. But they're doing these experiments to kind of see what they can do with walkers. So, and June was helping them out for a small time with that. So, yeah, very, very weird, very, very different. I don't really know how that makes any sense, how radiation could stop a walker infection from getting into you. Maybe I gotta watch it again, guys, but that's what I pulled from the dialogue, is that the radiation apparently is going to stop the walker infection or something like that. It's weird. That completely goes against what The Walking Dead is about, if you ask me, with the zombie virus, if that is the case. But again, we'll have to see where the story goes with it. It definitely does feel like something CRM related, which continues my theory with this, is that, which I stated last week as well. I think that Padre does have a connection to the CRM. I don't think they themselves are CRM, obviously, because they're not, going around dressed in black. But especially when you see the room of heads everywhere and zombies being tied up and experiments being done and this and that, I think that they are quote unquote working with CRM. I think they're along the lines of what Jadis was doing with the Junkyard Group, where they were given supplies, they had deals on the side with CRM, and CRM probably wanted them to contribute to the cause. So they're like, okay, do these experiments for us, do some work for us, to prove that you believe in what we do, that sort of thing. I think that Padre does have a side deal with CRM. I do. And I think that we will hopefully learn about that in the second half of the season. Something like that. Because if Padre really is just doing this on their own, then I don't know where the hell this is going. But I want to believe that there's a CRM connection. I want to believe that there's more layers to what's going on. Because so far, it's very odd. It's very weird, and I'm not even sure how I feel about it. But it's there. You know what I mean? So, anyway, June, basically, in this one, she's, trying to treat the kid or whatever. And then, meanwhile, you've got Dwight and Sherry that, of course, kind of talk things out. Basically, June is down there treating their kid, and Sherry says, you know what? We're out of Padre now. Maybe, Dwight, maybe we can just get out of here finally. Maybe we can just escape this place. And Dwight's just like, okay, yeah, we could do that. And they both kind of agree that Padre is very much like the Sanctuary, holding things over their head, excuses for why they can't be a family and stuff like that, which I do like the mention of the Sanctuary. That's pretty cool. Now, they fall through the train, of course, and they fall into this section with a whole bunch of the dead. June then, of course, goes to save them. The other guy, of course, follows, and they all go together. Now, a bit of a weird thing in this one. The kid has appendix in him or whatever, but apparently he's able to fight off walkers totally fine. He's just able to kind of get up and go. I found that to be a little weird. It's like, oh, I have the appendix, like, oh, I'm infected. I need to be treated. I have appendix and stuff like that. And it's like the kid's walking around like, oh yeah, I can't fight. I can't move. I got appendix. But it's like 2 seconds later, he's like, oh yeah, I can totally fight all those zombies. I can totally take them on. You know what I mean? It's like, what the frig? Like, that makes no sense. But anyway, that's besides the point. They then, of course, go in there, they take out the dead, and, everything seems to be going good, everything seems to be going fine, and then, of course, the guy's daughter is then there, and the guy's daughter that he's been looking for all these years is now a walker, so he kills himself along, with his daughter that eats him alive, basically, and that's the end of his character. I don't even know what the friggin' guy's name was. He was very irrelevant, but he did have a tragic story. He did lose a kid because of Padre, and he lost a lot of years with his daughter because of Padre. So it's pretty sad in that kind of context, right? Now, Padre catches our crew in the train, and this is when we get the craziest scene of the episode, without a doubt. Basically, Padre holds them all. They have full control over them now, and they then keep Dwight and Sherry's kid on the stretcher, or on the bed, or whatever it is, and they basically let a walker bite their kid as Sherry and Dwight have to sit there and watch this happen. Now, here's the thing. I was a little confused about this scene when I first saw it. Dwight and Sherry and their kid just got eaten by a friggin' walker head. And at first I was pissed because I was like, okay, are you serious? Did they seriously just lose their kid just like that? And then I remembered, is this how they're going to incorporate the whole cure idea? The whole, if a walker bites you, you don't turn type of thing. I feel like that's what they're doing with this kid. Mainly because if you see a clip in the trailer right here, you can actually see that the kid is still there. So, they kind of let that spoil. And that's not even a spoiler because that's in the fucking trailer. So, the kid obviously is not dead because the kid is right fucking here. So, you know what I mean? It kind of took the tension out of this scene. But it was still a very great scene, the kid, and like I said, I don't think the kid's dead, mostly because of the trailer, and also because they talked about this whole cure idea, and also, you don't want to kill Dwight's kid. I mean, you do not want to kill Dwight and Sherry's kid. That is something they deserve. They've been through way, way worse. You do not need them to lose their kid. I was honestly pissed when I saw it at first. I was like, did they really just kill Dwight and Sherry's kid? And no, I definitely don't think they did. So, intense scene. Austin Emilio's acting, Christina's acting in this scene was really good when they thought that their kid was, dead. They still think that right now. And I thought it was really cool. And you've got Dwight that's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna take you down. And it's like, holy shit, man. If you got Savior Dwight on your ass, yeah, you might want to look out. But anyway, that was a crazy scene. And then in addition to that, they actually get full revenge on June. They actually take June's friggin' finger off and get total revenge for what she was doing to their guys. So yes, June loses a finger in this one, and Dwight and Sherry's kid is bit. Those are the two major developments from this episode. Now, I think, like I said, I think there's some sort of immunity. I think that's what they're trying to tease with this. So I'm not going to go ahead and say that the kid's dead yet, because I don't think so. But June's finger getting removed, yeah, that's pretty insane. So June has now lost a finger. And now we're dealing with Dwight and Sherry's kid that now has been bit. Again, there's probably like a 5% chance that kid's dead, but based off the trailer, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. So I'm not going to say my goodbyes to that character yet. And also, that would be a very bad story decision if you asked me to kill off that kid. Now, we do get a sliver of Morgan and Madison at the very end. It's nothing major, but basically, they're riding in the back of this vehicle. You've got Madison that kind of fakes like passing out and stuff like that, and she can't breathe, so Morgan yells for them to pull over. They get out, they kind of trick the guards, and then Madison, basically takes down the Padre guards, and Morgan is able to get away because of Madison's stunt. So Morgan has now escaped captivity. He is out of there, and Madison did that so Morgan could get away. Madison's still captive, but Morgan isn't. So pretty cool stuff. I like that we got a little bit of them in this episode. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, very solid episode. Very much enjoyed it. It was a very good episode. You had a lot of really crazy stuff with the experimentations with the walkers and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, Dwight and Sherry's kid, I think they're pulling this immunity approach. I really do. Definitely going to do a video on that coming up because that's a really big deal if they do that. But yeah, that is my general thoughts on episode 2. Thought it was really good. I'd give it about a solid 9 out of 10. The only gripes I have is I think that there were certain scenes with the kid with the appendix that were a little bit on the unrealistic side. And I think that Padre wanting to kill a child is a little bit weird, although maybe they don't want to kill the child, maybe they just want him to be infected, so, you know, we'll have to see where that goes. That flaw may be removed depending on where this goes, because I do find it a bit weird if the kid really is dead, that Padre was so eager to kill a kid when it's like Padre wants to save the kids, you know, which is why I more so think that there is an immunity thing going on, because that would be very weird for Padre to just randomly take out the kid out of anybody there, you know. So yeah, but that's my overall thoughts on the episode. Very much enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this video, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos for Fear of the Walking Dead. Be sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Fear of the Walking Dead. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.